俺の方が先に気づいてた。
楽になれる。
寒天の自由。
あの目。
この山に。
What's going on, guys? Seth here. Chevy joining me. We just watched episode 16 of Demon Slayer. Quick recap. We got a continuation of the forest of spider manipulated demon slayers. We see pretty early on kind of a continuation of the constant problem of whether you take these guys out or not, they can keep coming back up because they're being manipulated by the spider webs. So after Inosuke has located a vibe of where the manipulating demon is at, they formulate a plan with the last surviving demon slayer there, that they're going to go in pursuit of that demon while he holds off. And he ends up pissing off Inosuke, and he wants to punch him in the face, and he's going to punch him in the face when he sees him again. So we'll see if that happens or not. Yeah, so they're on pursuit. All the while, Zenitsu is still wandering the woods, freaking out, crying about Nezuko, and eventually meets up with his own bird in continuing this pursuit. We see at one point one of the spiders that is involved with taking over people following him. So we'll see where that leads to. And then, yeah, we follow Inosuke and Tanjiro further into the woods, getting closer to the demon who's controlling everybody. And they run into even more the demon slayers who went there earlier. We learn that even if they're mangled and dying, they can still be manipulated. So, which is interesting, because something I thought about early on is like, why don't you just break their fucking arm or something? But even then I was like, well, they can still control them. And that was confirmed. They're talking about how, like, even if their body's like incapable of handling it by, like, bones and restrictions like that, it doesn't matter, because they'll still be used the way they need to be used. One of the guys is talking about how, like, anytime he moved, his bones were like grinding into his organs and stuff, and essentially he asked them to finish him off, which is conflict for Tanjiro, but not so much for Inosuke. But still, he is kind of halted by Tanjiro, trying to find an alternative to stop these demon slayers from attacking them without killing them. So they get pursued for a while. They're on the defense, trying not to get attacked. We are also put into a situation where the demon who is controlling everybody is the mother, is confronted by one of the other demons who's calling her mother, that she needs to hurry up with her task of taking all these guys out. Otherwise, he's going to tell father, which puts a bunch of fear in her. She starts freaking out, and she starts kind of going into overdrive on trying to get this sorted, which we see in one scene. A girl demon slayer attacking faster than she's even capable of attacking. She says she was never that powerful, and her shoulders start cracking and shit as she's like swinging. So we're kind of getting the gist that the manipulation is just that intense in the situation. They formulate a plan where they start chucking demon slayers up over branches to essentially tangle them up. So regardless of if they can keep attacking or not, they can't, because the webs are now wrapped up and they're immobilized. which eventually frustrates the main demon mother, and she ends up just killing off all the demon slayers she's manipulating, and brings out what seems to be a demon, or what once was a demon, a headless demon at this point, which is disappointing for Inosuke and Tanjiro, because obviously it's going to be a little difficult to eliminate a demon that doesn't have a fucking head. So yeah, they essentially stop fighting the demon slayers that are under her control, and start fighting this demon that's under her control, formulating a plan where Inosuke essentially leaps off the back of Tanjiro, and is able to cut the demon's arms off, and then come from behind and kind of slice something about a monk, like kind of a downward diagonal slice that cuts him in half, and ends up defeating him in the process. And then, I don't know if it was planned or not, but Inosuke gets excited about the idea of how he got launched, and he's like, I can do whatever you can do. So he runs over, grabs fucking Tanjiro, and just fucking launches him in the air.
Yeah.
All the while, when Tanjiro's in the air, he locates the mother demon, and essentially comes down and is getting ready to attack her. She kind of goes through this thing where you start to get the idea that she's, whatever she's done, obviously it's all bad, but you get this idea that she's not in the best place when it comes to their demon family, and she lives in fear, and obviously things aren't that great for her. So she goes from going, oh shit, I'm going to die, to, wait, I can just embrace this and then it can all be over. In that moment, Tanjiro looks like he was going to go and do one ability or move, and then switched it up right at the last minute, it almost seemed like.
Yeah. Something more gentle.
Yeah, so he does like a clean cut. It was really well animated the way they did her head coming off, and also the hair past the neck coming off as well. There's a really cool visual effect that they did here that made it seem almost peaceful, like a release, which totally was pretty cool. And she lets him know that there is one of the 12 Kizuki in the area, so we'll find out what that is or who that is. And there's also a flashback too where it kind of showed where the father demon was pretty much just abusing her, smacking around and shit, while you see the dynamic of the other demons. One seemed not stoked about it, the other two were like, this is what you fucking deserve. So you get kind of an idea of the hierarchy of this demon family, so that kind of adds to the whole, like, yeah, just fucking finish her off then, in the situation, even though she's still, like the other demons, is still doing horrible things. So you can't be all like, well, they're a victim, but at the same time, it adds that humanity, like, oh yeah, it's a fuck situation, okay, that adds to how, just take them all out. So and did I miss anything towards the end? We're gonna be revealing the father demon in the next episode, I assume.
And Zenitsu's being tailed.
Yes, yeah, I mentioned that earlier, kind of as a whole thing, but yeah, it kind of shows that he's being tailed, which I was wondering when this was going to happen, because he's running through the woods just screaming the whole fucking time. So I'm like, when's he going to run into anything?
Yeah.
And he's unaware of what he's up against too. So very curious about that. Also curious about the two higher up demon slayers who are going to be showing up to this late. So I'm assuming they'll be helping with the father. I'm not sure. But yeah, overall, I liked this episode. I mean, I like every episode I've watched so far, but I like this, the setup of the last episode. And I like that this episode has gone full on in the whole, like, almost like a zombie movie situation. It's a little disturbing though, with the girl and the dude who's all busted up and his arms bent weird, kind of showing that their bodies are not of value, and they're just being used as puppets, because that's what she talks about, and that the damage they're taking doesn't matter to her, so they're just suffering. I'm like, that's dark and kind of fucked up. And it had some fun stuff in there too, though, when Tanjiro figured out a plan to start throwing people over the branches, and Inosuke was like, "Oh, that's a good idea. Like that looks fun. Like I can do that." And fucking, he's just like running away from the one guy.
Yeah, a moment of tension breaking because it is a pretty dark episode.
Yeah, but they balance it well because like in that moment, I'm just like, "Oh, that's funny." And you know they're working towards the goal, but yeah, then like right before that, I'm like, that's fucked up. That these,
Well, and even right after that, when she breaks all their necks.
yeah,
So.
yeah. Though, I mean, it's fucked up. They all died, but I kind of said last review as well that you don't introduce this many characters without making them expendable. So I kind of assume they're going to die. The suffering part was more impactful for me, but I did think it was kind of weird that. I mean, they're all tangled up, but the one that wasn't tangled up, they acted like he wasn't a threat anymore after he was dead. And I'm like, you could still control his dead body, but it didn't matter because we're moving on to the demon fights. It's not like, ooh, that's so illogical, I can't get past it. The rest of them were all hung up, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just an interesting thing. Definitely looking forward to whatever the fuck Zenitsu's going to get into in this situation, because so far he's been doing a lot of sitting in the road and wandering through the woods, fucking freaking out.
And 4 more demons.
4 more demons. I'm also wondering if Nezuko is going to get involved with this, because she's just been sitting in her box this whole time. Curious about what's going on with the guy who stayed behind. Yeah, I mean, mostly, I don't want to say this episode was also set up because it did have a resolution, did have the objective they were after being solved, but it does have a bigger. There's more to this than the prior situations because of the amount of demons in the situation. So I'm curious how this is going to get resolved, but there are plenty of people involved as well. So I want to see where it goes, and it was cool. I really dig the more darker like horror theme to this, and I assume after this is all resolved, we'll get another comedy episode to lighten the load, possibly. But yeah, good episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really like this episode due to the fact that, you know, again, the show does not shy away from things are honestly a lot darker than I would expect them to be. And they do a good job of not shying away with that but also it's not gore porn. And I appreciate that too.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because the themes that they're dealing with sometimes are pretty dark. And if they're accompanied by like really fucked up imagery, I'd be like, this is like a mature ass fucking anime.
Yeah.
Be a little much.
And it is meant for teens, so it doesn't do that.
So I do like the balance of where they're willing to go, but also how they're willing to keep it entertaining and fun still.
Yeah, for sure. It's also nice to be able to see some teamwork between the two of them. As much as Inosuke, you know, obviously stubborn about it, and then when it succeeded and he was praised for his hard work, I guess before they did the teamwork thing, he was praised for his hard work. He was giddy again, essentially.
Yeah, I like the continuing thing of anytime anyone shows any kind of like human connection with him, he like doesn't know how to function.
Yeah.
He just pauses and he's like, he doesn't know what the fuck's going on, because he's just like processing like that human feeling of connection, how someone could like want to work with you, care for you, want to help you out, want your help, all that kind of shit. And he's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. What am I feeling right now?
Yeah. Oh, also, was it? No, never mind. I was gonna shout out Zenitsu's ghost form, but that was last episode. I should have did that then. When he was creeping on Nezuko, I just thought about when he did that.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, that was an episode ago though. I missed it.
And yeah, it's nice to get some resolution, obviously, but there's still 4 targets to go.
Yeah.
And we got confirmation that one of them is one of the 12 like big demons. So, what their rank is, you know, we don't know, and how
12.
Huh?
12.
It's one of the 12.
Yeah, but isn't 12 the lowest number?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they have to follow that metric.
I feel like it's gonna be 12.
And you know, yeah, who or what's that power going to look like in comparison to who we have? So
Yeah. Luckily, they got backup showing up at some point. So, yeah. Anything else? All right. Well, cool episode. Definitely looking forward to how they resolve a multi-demon situation and not just like a 3 personality, 1 demon situation. This is actually 5 individual demons, so it's an interesting dynamic. But let us know in the comments, what did you think of this episode? Please no spoilers. And for me, who's first just now watching this, and anyone who's possibly joining us on this adventure, but what'd you take from this episode? What'd you like about it? Is there something we missed? Any of the small details? Maybe something fun? Maybe some thematic stuff you really enjoyed? And stick around. We'll be doing episode 17 in the near future. And my name's Seth. This has been Chevy, and we'll see you on that episode.